All right, let's go out to Thelma and Luis in Portland, Oregon. Hey, what's up, Luis?
Morning, Dr. John. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course. What's happening?
I would like help with getting better at not giving people a vote in my life.
Ooh, I like this one. All right, so go for it.
Well, I've listened to you for a long time, and when I hear you say that, in my head and intellectually, I'm like, yes, I get this. And unfortunately, I've been sort of a fixer and a people pleaser my whole life. And so then I find myself not so much with people saying, oh, you should do this or you should do that, but almost giving people a vote into how my day goes. And then I get upset because somebody's mean or I have a bad interaction, and then I'm upset about it. And then I'm like, you gave them a vote. And then I'm doubly mad at myself. So I would just like some tools to get better at that, I think.
Whew, man. Okay, you're going to have to just promise that you'll hold my hand through this because it's going to be uncomfortable before we get to the other side. Is that cool?
I've been uncomfortable for 50 years. I'm ready to get uncomfortable more to make this different. I can't keep living like this.
I love your spirit on this one. Okay, so give me 2 or 3 of your best qualities.
I'm empathetic. I feel people's emotions, and I feel like I try to listen and understand where they're coming from. I'm a caregiver. I'm a physician. And so I know from your, past career, I think you know me even though you don't know me,
Yeah. Okay. Oh, man. We're friends, right?
Yes. I'm ready.
What if I told you that maybe you're not empathetic, but that empathy is a tool? It is the syringe to get you the drug you need. And the drug you need is other people's approval. Other people to say you're
totally
good.
See that.
And so you're not empathy or compassionate in the traditional sense, or the way we would look it up in Webster's dictionary. Compassion and empathy are tools you have weaponized to get what you want, which is everyone in your world to be okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
And when they're not okay, you get pissed off at them for not letting you have my drug, right?
Yeah, or I feel like I did something wrong. I didn't do something right, or I didn't do a good enough job, to fix everybody else's life. And I realize it's not my job. But
why'd you become a physician?
The classic line to help people.
Where did that spirit come from?
I've been that way my whole life.
Because you had to be, or because that's just was your orientation?
I think it's probably my orientation, and then in my upbringing, that was my role for sure.
That was your job, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And unfortunately, your drug of choice is one that we just give you $350,000 a year and call you doctor, and we celebrate as a society. If you just drank like a regular person, then we could go to AA, and none of this would be an issue, right?
Right. Yeah, the reward of it for sure has just, escalated it over time.
Okay. So what is it about, Luis? Like, just talking to you, you sound like a really kind person. Like, in your core of core, you're like a good human being. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say that's true.
So what does Luis want?
I want peace. I want to be able to be open-hearted, but not take on more than kind of what's mine. I start getting bitter and impatient. I remember a call that you had maybe 6 months ago with a man that was, kind of bringing his work stuff home and giving the worst of himself to his family, and that really resonated with me. And so I would like to find peace and boundaries, I guess, but not close myself off. I think in the past, when I think, okay, I'm gonna not give them a vote, and I'm gonna put up a wall and separate myself, then I think, but then that's kind of closing off what I do think some of my value is to people.
But that's the same. That's the same line you and I have both heard. from an
Mhm.
alcoholic that's like, well, I can't not go to the bar. That's where all my friends are. And they need
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
And I tell them, you're right. Your friends do need you. But right now, they need you not dead.
Mhm.
What is it about reverse engineering this and starting at the beginning that's hard? And here's what I mean by that. You want to leave yourself open to a possibility. What about reversing that and saying, I have 2 hours to be of support and care and love to X, Y, and Z if they call?
Yeah, I feel like I can sort of do that. The thing that has definitely pushed me over is I was I shouldn't say I was pushed. I accepted a role as kind of like a director of positions last year.
Mhm.
And as you can imagine, like for someone that has my traits, who never was looking to manage people, it has
You're
spread.
managing
It's like a
unmanageable
fire.
people.
It is like a fire, and that is just exploded from what it was before, and it's hard because they're people I respect and I appreciate, and I work clinically with them, and so when somebody is unhappy with kind of the business way that things are going, and I have to deal with 30 different opinions, that's what sort of has tipped me over and like led to my call.
Well, and my question is, you're somebody that I would go to holding my baby daughter, who's 8. She's not a baby anymore. She's a kid now. I'd be holding my 8-year-old little girl and say, will you help me? And you would look at my daughter and you'd look at the facts of the situation. You'd look at her past and you would hand me a treatment plan to care for my daughter.
Hmm.
And my question is, why won't you do that for you? Why does my daughter have more value in your heart than you do? Why do those physicians, oh my God, they've got opinions and egos. And you have to have an ego to be a physician, to sit down and go, no, I can sew your arm back on. Like you have to have
Hmm.
some sort of like, yeah, I can do that, right? That's part of the gig. But managing them is tough.
Yeah.
But why do you put them ahead of you? Where did that story come from? That Luis, shut your mouth, you go last.
Yeah, I mean, it was an easy way to get through my life, for sure. And it's a hard thing to
I want, I want,
accept.
I want everybody listening. She just did a
Uh,
classic move. It's so good. You're really good at this, Luis. Um, it's a turn, but it usually happens with a good, sharp inhale of breath, and you just did it. I'm giving away my secrets on the air, but you got real quiet and you go, yeah. So I did. It's like I'm gonna alter my physiology so I can answer this question here. Sit with me in the
yeah, it's like a
uncomfortable
tidal
for a
wave.
minute. Just sit with me in the
Yeah,
suck for a minute.
yeah, it's like a tidal wave.
Yeah, I know. And it feels like it's going to wash over you, and you're a freaking physician in charge of physicians, and you don't get hit by tidal waves. And I'm asking you just to sit with me. I asked you to hold my hand through it, so I got you. But exhale. This sucks. Who told you, Luis? Shut your mouth and get in the back of the room.
I don't think it was that overt or from like a negative standpoint. I think things were easier if I did well and like people pleased, and you know, it wasn't you suck and get in the back. It's like life is easier if you don't suck, and positive uh, kind of feelings came from the achievement and the making sure everybody was okay, and then my whole life was easier. So
And now you've reached a place where you're trying to perform and give everybody pats on the back, and you're not getting the same. You're not getting the same. I would call it pseudo love in
mhm,
return, right?
totally,
And you
yeah.
don't have a psychology for it.
Hmm.
I want to tell you, I'm sorry that you've had to perform your way to relationship for so long.
Yeah, thank you.
That's exhausting. Do you have some people that you can just be straight up like Gangster Louise with? that you can tell inappropriate jokes with, and you can laugh, and you can be like, "Oh my gosh, that guy is not attractive." Like, do you have a group that you can do that with, 1 or 2 or 5 people?
I have probably 1 or 2, but it's that feeling of like I don't want to burden them. Like I even just calling you, I'm like, oh no, I'm burdening him. And it's like I have this, but I realize I need to open up to at least one person that I feel really comfortable with, and um,
What do
yeah,
you love to do in a given day when you're not working? What are 2 or 3 things that just bring light into your house?
definitely spending time with my kids. I like being in my garden.
Okay.
Um, you
What
know,
makes you feel good and whole? Like my wife would say, going to bed at 8:45 p.m. and reading a book, and
yeah,
like,
yeah,
what makes you
for
feel
sure that.
just good?
I think, having just a break where I don't have any to-do list. So, going to bed early and reading a book, being outside in my garden, and just having that sort of space, I think, again, where I'm not trying to fix or solve, or, I'm just kind of,
What makes you feel sexy?
ugh. Nothing. I can't even answer that. How sad is that?
Well, it's not sad. It's just instructive, right? This sense of like, because in some places, sexy is the ultimate in vulnerability. Here I am.
Mhm.
Do you still love
Mhm.
me? And sexy can also be the ultimate stage to perform. I'm going to
Mhm.
become a thing so that you'll desire me,
Mhm.
right? And for a performer, sexy can be a way to like, it can be a wall to hide behind, or sexy can be like, ugh, not even going there. What makes you feel strong?
I try to exercise, so that makes me feel strong. I do feel like I'm a good parent to my kids, and I think that makes me feel strong.
Can I tell
Um,
you what is a common thing between your children and your garden? I'll just cut to the chase because it'll take forever. You have more power than they do.
hmm,
You're quote unquote over them. And where you struggle is when you walk up and look somebody eye to eye and your body feels like you're a 6-year-old girl again, trying to dance,
hmm,
dance, dance,
mhm,
as though I
mhm,
don't deserve to be in this room.
mhm,
I don't deserve to be in this role. I'm making a call, and 4 of the doctors are like, "This is the problem with stupid administrators. You sold us out."
yeah,
And
mhm,
suddenly you become 6 again. Instead of saying, "No, no, 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 this is my garden. All the plants in here have value, but I was put in charge. I'm making the call."
mhm, mhm. No, it's interesting. I've never thought about it like that.
But there's something to be said for you putting your hand in your chest. Have you heard me talk about that? What my counselor made me
Mhm,
do?
mhm.
Have you tried it?
No, I haven't because I can't.
You can't. I know.
Yeah.
That's
But when I
homework.
hear you say it, I'm like, okay, I'm working toward that. I will do that one day. But
Nope. Just go
yeah,
do it. There's not a one day.
yeah,
There's not a
yeah.
one day. And to start at how do I just don't want to care what people say. That's hard when you don't have a foundation of I care what I say.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that.
I am
I
worth
think that's
this.
the starting point.
It
Mhm.
is. It is. But
Mhm.
I wish it was less cheesy than what I'm going to tell you. You got to look in the mirror and put your hand in your chest and say 10 times a day, I love Luis. Done a pretty amazing job. I love Luis. And you got to look yourself in the eye in the mirror. And that's going to lead you to questions like, why didn't she love me? Why didn't he just say, I'm proud of you? And those are haunting, scary questions that you got to journal and write through and write them down. And you've heard me say, write
Mhm.
yourself letters from when you were a kid. Like, write that 12-year-old you a letter and say, hey, you got an 89. We still made it. And
Yeah.
you didn't deserve to feel like that. Or you got straight A's and nobody asked you out, and I'm sorry. Right? All those things. But all that starts with you saying, I'm worth even entering into that space. And you don't believe that. You think your only
Mhm.
value in a room is to make sure everybody else is okay.
Mhm.
And I'm going to tell you, you can only make sure people are okay as if both of your feet are standing firm.
Yeah. No, and like I said from the beginning, I realize I have to do something different, and I just have to do it, I think.
So let's start from the foundation up, not the top down. Top down would be,
Mhm.
you can't talk to me like that. I'm the administrator, right?
Mhm.
When you're thinking of 2 or 3 doctors right now, probably one of them has blonde hair and he is just, oh gosh, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you think everything in my life would be better if this guy, those 3, his little group, if they would just, right? Let's start from the floor up.
Wow. You're like this is scary.
I've done this for too
Yeah.
long.
Oh gosh.
Let's start from the floor up. I'm Luis, and I love this girl. And Larissa, you ended up a physician, but if we go back, you've been dancing and singing a long time, and that wasn't your job. Your job was to be a little kid, but here we are.
Mhm.
I love you. And then I'm going to go hug my kids, not in a desperate, needy way, but just because I love them.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to hug my romantic partner because I love them. And now suddenly I am doing these things. I am writing out affirmations to myself. Hey, today's going to be a good day. Today I'm going to feel confident in my decisions, and I'm going to say I'm sorry when I'm wrong, and I'm going to apologize when I hurt people, and I'm going to move on with my day. And what we're doing is we're building this thing up from the bottom up.
Mhm.
And it has to be just like exercise. It's going to feel lame and boring and repetitive and over and over. And then in 6 weeks, somebody's going to challenge you in a meeting, and you're not going to feel your backbone suddenly crumble underneath you.
Yeah, I like it. I like that idea from the ground up.
And can I tell you something else?
Yep.
I had I had a professional athlete reach out to me on Instagram recently. Just eviscerated me, went after me hard. And I wish I could say I was above it, but it bothered me.
Mhm.
Like, it broke my heart, made me sad. And I've tried to go around it and just be like, hey, like, have a good day. And it just came even harder. And the only path forward is I sent a voice memo, which I almost never do. So you hear my voice, and it's like, man, I'm not going to fight you. I wish you the best, man. I love it. I hope your life is well. I hope you're well. But I want you to know that those moments, those days, those times when somebody that you admire, somebody that you care about, somebody that you want their approval, even if you don't want their approval, but you still do, there's going to be seasons when
Mhm.
it still hurts, and that's okay. That means you're human. That means you have empathy, right? That means you're still able to be hurt. And empathy means I can sit with you and feel it too.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that because I'm like, how does he get through that?
Oh, sister.
Like it doesn't bother you.
Dude.
It's just that, yeah.
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 No, man. I've talked to 2 of my old mentors today. It's been a hard day, right? It's part of it. But part of caring and loving people is entering into hard spaces where you're going to come out with
Mhm.
wounds. That's part of it.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to live that way as a rule of life.
Yeah.
Fair?
Yes. Thank you. I really appreciate you.
It's been one of my absolute honors to talk to you. I appreciate your trust. And call anytime, Luis. And stay on the line. And if you don't have any of the books, Taylor, we'll get them sent over to you. But I'm really grateful for your call. Call anytime. But you're worth it. You're worth it. You're worth it.